Just when I thought I couldn't find my way out, yeah, I searched the God in me to find my way out. I know it can seem way out, but the Creator flows to and through me from way out. I'm talking way out, yeah, yeah, yeah. See, if you believe in the God in you, it's a better place. Creating the force and the power to live a better. Just know that love and joy and peace is one in all of the same space. That you were chosen just like God. Can't mind the edge. Can't mind. I'll give us your energy. That's right. I'll give myself. Only you can make the change. I'll give myself. Share your energy. I'll give myself. Shine so bright from darkness to light. Hey, hey, hey. From darkness to light. Yeah. And you'll find your way out. Yeah, yeah. Oh, it won't seem way out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The power of God will flow through you from way out.
I wasn't even gonna cover this. I wasn't gonna cover this because I never liked Kevin Hart as a comedian. I never thought he was funny. But I think it's really interesting how like this whole roast session has really opened the eyes of people to just how like much of a sellout Mr. Hart actually is, bro. I think he might be along the lines even closer to the Hodge twins, and because just the fact that like he some of the things he just feel like is like okay, that he agreed to, first of all, everything that they did on that roast session, I'm sure they had a practice for. I don't think that they just say, oh, just show up to the roast session and just say whatever the hell you want to say. I believe they have practices for all this stuff. So all the weird, like little sexual weird stuff, all that stuff was practiced before it was actually executed. So it makes it even more cringier to know that these things probably went through a practice first, including some of the things that even happened to Cheryl Underwood. I thought that was really, really distasteful. But but people, listen, this is how we know Hollywood and all this stuff is so fake, and it's their end of time. Listen, Hollywood is going under. Let's go.
Everybody has to laugh at everybody's jokes, but come on. And one person in particular who got it a couple of times was Cheryl Underwood, who was on the dais. And it just seemed like the jokes for her were maybe crossed the line.
My husband killed himself in 1990. Really what happened, right? I was in the Air Force Reserve, and they were getting ready to mobilize my unit to go in the Desert Shield and Storm. I'm sorry if I got it in reverse.
Well, let me say this. I was in the military around the same time that she was in the military, or her husband was in the military. There's nothing funny about Desert Shield or Desert Storm because a lot of people were being sent overseas, being told they would be over there for like 3 months and was over there for like 9 to 11 months. It was a lot of sides going on. Okay. A lot of sides. Okay. You hear me? As a person working in major crimes for the Office of Special Investigation, I had to process them. This is no laughing matter. But I mean, comedians are going to comedian, but let's go.
It's been a really busy night. But my husband killed himself August of 90. So what they're talking about is his suicide over 30 years ago.
Nonetheless, what happened was everybody seemed to be pushing everybody's buttons. Even if it was a year ago or 30 years ago, it was, let's just find the most sensitive thing and just go in on it.
Well, I think it's the new way of roasting. When I first came to Los Angeles, I was hanging out in the Friars Club with those old-fashioned Borscht Belt roasters, those Jackie Masons and, those guys. And that's why I said to Kevin at the end, we only roast who we love. There was a team of us and rehearsing things that we could say and what the parameters were. But
like I said, they rehearse for those in the back. So this is not the first time that you heard of the jokes. So she heard the joke before it even went down. Everybody rehearses their whole thing. Comedy is not like off the cuff. Comedy is a routine. Most comedians, if you see them more than one time a night, if you see them twice a week, you'll see them doing the same routine over and over again. It's called a comedy routine. Why do I know? I used to be a comedian. I would do the same routine. And what happens over time, it just seems so natural. You think that it's actually a real, like a person is really going off the cuff, but really they are doing a routine, right? So they practice this stuff. So let's go.
But the best part was being with my colleagues. The best part was hanging out and Tiffany Haddish and Lizzo and my fraternity brother J-Dub, one of the Plastic Cup boys, and all of us that know each other. That's why I said freedom of speech is alive and well, and it's alive in Netflix.
So the weird thing to me was Tom Brady, because when he was roasted, he got upset, yet he showed up and he roasted Kevin Hart, although he left so nobody could go after him.
I like the fact that he came to give Kevin a little elbow, but also give him his flowers. Usher, give an elbow, give him his flowers. Cat Williams, for them to settle their beef. So I think what he did really.
Do you really think they really settled their beef, or do you think that that I don't know? It seemed like Cat Williams was like kind of a little bit under duress. Like he really just probably didn't even want. He just I don't know. I don't know whether somebody had a shotgun behind Cat Williams' back, but it just didn't seem like he was all the way. I don't know. I don't know if that was a real, you know what I'm saying, like real like thing there. Let's go.
Helped everything. But The Rock being there, you can see all of us have genuine love and friendship.
I'm glad you brought up The Rock, because you said something about when you first came to LA and that the Friars Club, the rules, there were no rules, because this particular joke shocked a lot of people coming from The Rock, at least. He put the D in front of the R word.
But everybody laughed.
And everyone laughed. So has it swung back where now there are certain words that in this context people are fine with?
True roast comedy. It is.
I'm gonna say this is that there is a culture right now that is super sensitive, very sensitive. Like this new group will kind of like the comedians I'm used to being around. It was no holds barred. I remember I got booed off a stage one time, and Monique, I was opening up for Monique as a comedian, and honey, I got booed, and honey, she went in on me for 30 minutes straight. And that was pretty much the end of my comedy career, because I was like, man, I couldn't. That was it was terrible. I was like, oh my God, because I had never been booed before, and when I did get booed, it seemed like people really hate you when you get booed. I mean, it's terrible. But you know, I think I probably did a couple more shows after that. I even did some open mics a little bit later on in life. But you know, I was like, you know what, comedy is just not for me. It's not for the faint of heart, guys. It's not. You have to be able to take some scrutiny. Let's go.
It's not for a mainstream domain. But you're talking about Netflix. And I know people don't agree and to say, well, why would you use these words? But what I thought was good about what The Rock did, everybody was questioning his blackness. And he really made the connection. It's a way for us to talk about the issues with humor and come to some common ground.
So the thing about comedy is that it's really about like kind of taking something that's really not funny and making it funny. Now, if you can actually make something that isn't funny and make people laugh about that, then you are a great comedian. That is the whole aspect of comedy. It's dark. It's not necessarily like Disneyland. So you're going to have things where people will say some dark things, and I'm into dark humor. I just think that like this new generation is just not used to. I mean, they're super sensitive. You know, there are some things that you know probably should not be touched. You know, there's probably like families that are very sensitive. Thank God Cheryl Underwood is not sensitive about her husband's suicide. You know, and may he rest in peace. You know, suicide is no laughing matter. You know, me being an ex-military person that worked in the military and had to process those things, it's not a funny thing. But if she's healed, if she was able to take that joke and laugh about it, why should we sit here and try to make a big deal? Let's go.
Years ago, you couldn't say M word for little people, couldn't say R word for the disabled. I have a joke that I tell about my own sister. I tried to say disabled, but it does not work. When sometimes politically correctness does not fit in comedy.
Right. Yeah. So sometimes politics and being politically correct does not fit in comedy. So let's go. So Poetic Flacco began to talk about the whole thing, the roast and how things went in his Kevin Hart's Breakfast Club interview. Let's go.
Kevin Hart just pissed off black people again and reignited the hate mob against them. Now, his response, I personally don't have a problem with. I just don't think it was smart at all to do. He came on specifically to respond back to the recent backlash he was getting because George Floyd family has made it pretty clear they not rocking with Kevin at all. And they made it clear during an interview with Lauren LaRosa when they brought up the Kevin Hart roast and they brought up how Tony Hinchcliffe during this roast, as well as other roasts, disrespected George Floyd, made fun of George Floyd, made George Floyd a subject of discussion when, you know, George Floyd was not in the room, and a roast is supposed to be a roast of the people in the room. Now,
here's the thing. Did the writers of this show, because I'll get, like I said, once again, this was not the first time that these people ever heard these jokes. They have practiced, guys. They practice the whole routine before they do the show. Okay, before Netflix, you think that Netflix is going to let people just say anything? No, they practice it before they even do it. So Kevin Hart was aware of what they were going to say. Everybody that was there, even including the producers, knew what the actual script was, right? And they went with it, okay? And I don't know. Maybe they thought it was going to be funny and it was going to go over well. But, you know, hey, it's interesting when you have a person that is probably like a little bit tone deaf, you know, a former MAGA person or whatever, kind of writing the jokes, a MAGA comedian. Let's go.
He made this clear while talking to Lauren LaRosa, and George Floyd family also did an interview with TMZ.
Thank you for joining me. I feel like we always have to have conversations around these things. So, you know, I apologize for that. But yeah, I think, you know, sometimes the conversations are needed for people to hear from you guys as George Floyd's family firsthand. So I know you had saw some of the comments that we had made at the Breakfast Club in response to Tony Hinchcliffe and the George Floyd joke that was, you know, said at the Kevin Hart roast.
You've done good though, Kevin. The black community is so proud of you right now. George Floyd is looking up at us all, laughing so hard that he can't breathe.
See, the thing about this joke that is not funny is they're insinuating that George Floyd is in hell. You know, he's looking up and can't breathe. That's kind of fucked up. But you know what? The thing is that, you know, if they know that the jokes are going to go over like this, maybe why not contact the family and say, we're going to have a few jokes on this thing about this, whatever, because they do practice the joke. He wrote this. This was written, you know, he was the writer. So it was not like they didn't know that he was going to tell these jokes. So a nice contact to the family before this whole thing got out would have been appreciated, but it wasn't even done. And that is like, that's on Netflix. There you go.
And you wanted to kind of talk a bit about that. So just let me know, number one, did you watch the roast just as a Kevin Hart fan, or like, did you hear about it afterward?
I heard about it afterwards, and I understand a roast. Let me just clarify that. I understand a roast, and well, from what I understand about a roast is about what you know, what you joke about that person specifically. So the reason why I felt kind of uneasy is because I was trying to figure out what did that have to do? What kind of punchline was that?
Y'all heard me co-sign those sentiments when I made my video on the joke. I just thought, like, how many more opportunities do black folks have to give Tony Hinchcliffe to disrespect us? George Floyd was not in the room. It was a roast of people in the room. He brought up George Floyd because he knew what he was doing. He has brought up George Floyd in every other roast he has done. And that's something the family has also touched on. This man keeps on bringing up George Floyd to disrespect.
And here's the thing, how much of that, when it keeps happening, is him just purposely like going after the family and George Floyd because he feels like he's right about what he's saying. So, but the bottom line is that the only person that's responsible for all this is Kevin Hart and Netflix. Okay. Let's go.
Respect him. He has this weird obsession with George Floyd, and quite frankly, I think the weird obsession comes because he understands that it's going to piss off black people, and that's his aim when he does these things. He wants to piss off black people. You know, he can't thrive without us. He wants our reaction. And yeah, you know, this time it worked brilliantly. All right, we are calling it out because, you know, at what point is enough is enough?
The question is, why does he want to piss off black people? To get more views, to be more viral, for the show to go over even more. See, a lot of time people know that when black people are triggered, it gets more like eyeballs on it. A lot of times, you know, even with Chud the Builder, he knew that if he starts pissing off black people, that he would go viral. We need to actually realize our worth in the whole like community of when we watch something, we pay attention to stuff. That stuff makes those things get more power to them, because we are a very dynamic people, and when we put our eyeballs on things, that's when it takes off. Let's go.
So the brother does speak on that. He does touch on how Tony Hinchcliffe made a George Floyd joke during the Tom Brady roast.
You know, and you know, and I'm gonna speak from my point of view. Is comedy, a roast is a roast, is without that one person. Comedy is to make people, you know, laugh and enjoy themselves. It's not supposed to be where you feel some type of way after you leave the room. You're supposed to leave with healing and happiness, you know, and that wasn't the case. And I'm speaking from my point of view about my brother and from my family, but I'm even gonna go as far as the other topics with Bill Cosby. Those are other people's issues, and you don't know what kind of trauma and tragedy that family was going through. So stick to just who you supposed to be roasting. That's just my feeling on it.
And, you know, in us covering this, I started to kind of like research, because when I first saw the statement, there was a line about the rep who spoke out for Gianna and the George Floyd organization that said something about you guys, as the family, mentioning his obsession with your brother, with George Floyd. So it made me, you know, in the room, Just Hilarious asked, like, well, was this the first time that he mentioned something? And I went back and I realized that he had gotten some pushback back in 2024 when he joked about George Floyd, or made a reference to George Floyd during the Tom Brady roast.
Look like the final boss in George Floyd, the video game.
Would it being the second time, do you feel like it's even more of a disrespect, or like, does that kind of compile onto things for you?
I would say it's totally disrespectful. It's totally disrespectful, but
I think the brother did a great.
Hold on, before we go into what Poetic Flacco had to say, can we actually call the elephant in the room? Who was the person that did an entire documentary on George Floyd? We want to blame it on Hedgecliff, whatever his name is, but the real person, the real culprit behind this whole George Floyd thing is actually Candace Owens. Candace Owens was the one who put the whole thing out, saying that he didn't die of a choke. He died of fentanyl abuse. Okay. She was the one who came out with an entire breakdown of that whole thing. It was our own folks now. So we can't get mad because a white person is really pushing that whole agenda when it was a black person, Candace Owens, that brought that whole thing out. Let's be real. Let's go.
Great job at articulating what the general consensus is and critique on the roast, and Tony Hinchcliffe bringing up George Floyd during the roast. Now, Kevin Hart came on a Breakfast Club, and I'll be real, Kevin Hart didn't handle this great at all, not one bit. Now, you kind of understand his response and understand his frustration of, hey, I didn't make the joke. Why y'all mad at me?
Yeah, the George Floyd joke, it wasn't a tasteful joke to our culture, to our audience, but our audience that's watching the roast, if you're watching the roast, you get why they're doing it. You get why the racial humor is on the table. Like, it's not, I wasn't shocked. Like, that's what they do.
You wasn't shocked because it was practice. People practice before they do the show. You heard the jokes already before they even got aired. Stop it.
Ooh, go look at the Tom Brady one. Like, that's what they do. It happens every year when they do a roast. It's not new. This isn't a new It's not a new agenda. It's not a new approach to comedy.
Do you feel like Tony Hinchcliffe went too far when he made that joke about George Floyd?
It's Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yeah.
Like I don't expect less. I don't expect more.
I feel like you're saying going too far is the point. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Yes, I mean that's why you're there.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to say,
but it's going too far about something that's not even a subject. It was the roast of Kevin Hart, not the roast of George Floyd. And on top of that, everything that was said that night was already practiced beforehand. Stop it.
Say this, but I'm going to because we're being honest. People are talking about that joke. Talk about his set. Tony Hinchcliffe arguably had the best set.
People did not like this at all. Now, if he honestly feels this way, it's his right to say it. Me personally, I did not think that Tony Hinchcliffe had the best set at all.
No, he did not. And here's the thing. Kevin is just proving that he is a ass kisser, like so 100%. And I see why Kevin Hart, Cat Williams, hesitating on even wanting like to make amends with him. I mean, you can see it in his whole eyes when he was like, "Well, I'm glad that we get to. Can we like give a hug or whatever it was?" And he was like, "Yeah, I guess." Because it's some bullshit. Really?
I think that Chelsea Handler, his op, had a better set than him. I think Lizzo. Now hers was underrated. Now again, I wouldn't go as far as say she was better than Tony Hinchcliffe, but hers was underrated. The black guy who roasted Kevin Hart, I don't know his name. He to me had a better set than Tony Hinchcliffe. But Kevin Hart obviously has no problem with what Tony Hinchcliffe did. We now know, by the way, that like Kevin Hart and the producers actually got a chance to hear all the jokes beforehand. So
thank you. Like I said, and I didn't even see, this is my first time watching Poetic Flacco's take on this. And I already knew that there is no thing on no network, anything Netflix that's gonna like just let you do freestyle and they don't know what you're gonna do. Even in the radio, you gotta know if you're DJing on the radio, they want to know what your set list is. So you know damn well you're not gonna tell no jokes on Netflix that they don't know what you're telling. Come on now, let's go.
Kevin Hart got a chance to hear the Tony Hinchcliffe George Floyd joke, and he approved it. Right, he had no problem with it being in there. Now, if Kevin Hart would have came and stood on business, cool. But he flip-flopped too much for me during his interview. Started off with, man, Tony Hinchcliffe had the best set is comedy, get over it. To, why y'all blaming me? I don't like it either. I think it's BS. I think it's it. Huh?
Right. You're the one who approved.
He even said, he called like Steven Jackson, which is like George Floyd homie and really close to George Floyd family right after the set before it even went public, to apologize to Steven Jackson, say, "Hey, bro, man, listen, man, it was a roast."
Why the fuck didn't he call him beforehand? He knew what the jokes were gonna be. This is some coon shit. Let me just show you coonism.
Got out of hand, bro. I couldn't do nothing. So if you didn't feel this was a problem, then why did you call Steven Jackson immediately afterwards, right? And the most annoying part of it all is Kevin Hart acting like he had no power whatsoever, that he was powerless and he couldn't have done anything to ramify this situation.
Would I tell those jokes? No. But do I get why they're being told? Mm-hmm. Yes. Like, I'm not looking at Pete crazy. I'm not looking at Tony crazy. Like, that's what, I know what you're going to do. Mm-hmm. I know your style of comedy.
Did you see the interview that I did with Terrence?
You know what they're going to do because the whole thing was given before you read through it and you approved it. That's how you know. Not because you just know the kind of comedy this comedian does. It's because you knew what he was going to say before he even said it.
George Floyd's brother?
No.
So he said
no shot to you.
No, he expected you to kind of be the person that would like stop it right in the moment or just not allow for certain things to happen.
And he also said he wanted you to come harder. He said if they're going to joke, why you ain't come harder with your own jokes?
All right.
Racist jokes, I guess.
This is actually a good thing to give a rebuttal to.
See, then
they talked about my dead mom and my dead dad. Said that they were running a train on my mom.
Hilarious.
Right?
It was that was crazy. Yeah, that was Regina killed that.
Right?
Yes, oh wait, that's right. You probably should say killed that.
The jokes about Kevin was on a slave ship in a bottle with like the ship in the bottle. Like, I'm going to appreciate humor. I don't get affected by the attempt of humor. I get it, right? In this case,
but see, you're a comedian. These are real people with a real deceased person. That's their family member. They are not comedians, and they don't think it's funny, sir. So rather than you trying to explain it away, you should just apologize and say, you know what, it did get a little bit out of hand. I did see what they said, and I did approve it, and maybe I was wrong. But rather than him do that, he's going to try to make it about comedy and that this is what comedy is.
Ace, like, do more. It's my production. We're live. The more is what? Like, what is it that you expect me? You want me to take a live production and stand up and fight Tony or have a reaction? Like, Tony told a joke. It wasn't a tasteful joke to us. We didn't like it. Okay. Hey, man, that joke. We move on.
No, what you do is you remove the joke before it even hits the air because you had access to the actual script. That's what you do. Let's go.
I don't understand why we stand on a hill and it becomes like this big thing of like, oh man, they do this and they're attacking the culture. It doesn't have to be that. It literally is either you're a fan of this level of content or you're not. And if you're not a fan, then you don't watch it. So
Kevin Hart.
Well, no one knows what they're going to see until they see it. If you're not a fan of this type of stuff, don't watch it. Well, hell, no one knows that this person's going to go completely apeshit on a family that lost their loved one, saying that he's looking up from hell and can't breathe. No one knows that this is going to happen, sir. They just see the roast of Kevin Hart. They don't see that this is going to happen, sir. So why would you say if you don't like this type of content, don't watch it? Well, honey, it's already been watched, sir.
Was not helpless, right? Even if Kevin Hart is saying, we're going to do stand up and stop it. Okay, cool, right? That's too much, right? You had a mic. You had your time to come on afterwards. You had the last words on the show. You couldn't use your voice as a comedian to counter the hate. You couldn't go at Tony Hinchcliffe on the mic. If these people are getting every opportunity to verbally abuse us and be nasty towards us and put hate towards our way, then why can't one of us take that mic and go at him?
Because Kevin don't even have the right writers to do that with. He is PG-13 Disney, whatever. You know what I'm saying? He don't have the right writers to even be able to go at him with. You don't, because half these comedians do not write their own jokes. Let's be real. So whoever his writers are just so like just blue, or not even blue. I would say whatever the like word is for vanilla, that they don't even have the right words to even come back with a whatever, because they're trying to protect his image.
And go at Tony Hinchcliffe and go at Shane Gillis and speak up for us. Cheryl Underwood attempted to do so, but she's a woman at the end of the day, man, right? Like, as a comedian, she probably ain't on the level of a Kevin Hart. So if we look at you as one of us, why you ain't hit that mic and go to war for us? It don't got to be hostile or no. You could have just went at him how he went at us. We didn't see you do it at all.
That would have been something right there.
Now, when Kevin Hart gives this new standard for how we should operate in life, right? If you don't like it, don't watch it and ignore it. Imagine if we had that standard for everything in life. Chud the Builder? Chud is going around calling random black people the N-word and victimizing them in person. If the standard was, why critique something you don't like? Just don't watch it. So black folks should have been quiet, not watch the content, and have Chud and his racist fans and his audience like denigrate black people, attack black people, victimize black people, and get wealthy off of victimizing black people. And black people should have kept quiet, not critique it, and just go about our business because he's not victimizing us because we don't live in Clarksville. Imagine if that standard was applied to everything else. Just imagine, right? Just imagine if people who victimize kids and children now know in their heart, well, I could victimize children on the internet, and people who don't like children don't watch my content anyways, and they can't critique me because that's the new rule. You can't critique things you don't agree with. Like, clearly that's not the standard at all. And Kevin Hart is essentially asking us, hey man, these white folks pay me to put on this roast, bro. Why y'all making it hot, bro? Why y'all coming online and being vocal about how much y'all hate it, bro? Chill.
Thank you. He don't want you to say nothing about it because he making money off of it. We putting too much heat in the flame for him. We messing with his money now. Y'all just need to understand that this is, hey, listen, he had the best set ever. Oh, well, if you don't like it, then don't watch it. Well, honey, it's already been watched. Come on now.
Man, chill. That's what he's asking us to do. Now, some people might think that he's spitting. I think he's full of ish. I think Kevin Hart could have delivered this message a little better.
My last note for all attached to this is very simple, okay? Whatever the headlines or whatever the dialogue is, my rebuttal is simplicity. Remove me from it. I didn't say it. If you are upset that the night went on, that's a different conversation. It's nothing I can do. It's a production. It's a live production. I'm not compromising the live production for a reaction of what? What do you want me to do? I'm going to drag him off? You want me to fight afterwards? You want me to turn it into like what? That's not what I agreed to do. That's not the job at hand. The job at hand was to produce a successful roast, which I did.
That you got to see every joke for, and you got to hear everything that they were saying, and you're such a sellout that you don't even give a fuck. Who it hurts. As long as you get that bread. Let's be real.
I also got the rebuttal. I also got to say at the end. What are we dealing with here? I'll say it again. Stop talking as if I said it. Mm-hmm. So when you say the family and the family's affected, I didn't disrespect the family. Showed up for the family when it happened. Made sure that the family felt supported. Made sure that all things there were actually cool.
Did you make sure they got supported with some bread, or you just said, did you call for support? Did you spend some bread with the family and say, you know what, just because they did this and they mentioned, here is about another, here is $100K just for mentioning George Floyd as a joke on my show. Did you come with money or did you come with words? Because that's what really makes it, because he's talking from a person that's getting money. So he can say, well, oh yeah, I talked to the family. Did you talk to them with money or did you talk to them with words?
Behind the scenes, just as an example, you know the one person that I talked to, and I'm not even gonna tell you the conversation, Stephen Jackson.
Oh, I know he caught that.
That's because that's my nigga.
Yeah.
Hey, Stack, let me just call you, man, so I can explain to you like the world of the roast, X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. We talked. I get it, Kev. We had a great conversation. But that's what I mean when I say, hey, man, let me call.
Did the conversation end with you putting some money in his bank account? Putting some money toward the family's bank account? Putting some money, I think George Floyd got kids, into their college fund? Or do they get to watch you allow someone roast their family and you make money off of like the humiliation of their father and don't have no kind of like kickback, nothing, and you get to make the money off of it, off of jokes that you already knew that was going to happen? Now, if he would have said I peeled them back, like, okay, when that whole thing happened, I went and sent the family money. I sent money to his kids for their college fund, just to make up for the fact that whatever is getting generated from this show, that, we're just not exploiting their father for no reason. Then I would respect you, but you just made you talked to folk. I had a conversation with. No, you didn't. No, the only conversation is the money.
The one person after. And that's before whatever you're talking about. Mm-hmm. That's immediate. Mm-hmm. Stack, hey, Tony threw one out there. It's this and this, but you do know that that's what this is a roast. But I just want you to know from my side, that man is on his own.
Why you ain't lead with that, Kev?
Why you ain't lead with that? Because you got to see it before it happened. You read the script. Why didn't you automatically, like before it even came out, before you even did the show, like, hey, they're going to say some things, whatever. And you know what? Here's something to the family just to make sure. Because I can guarantee you that if he would have peeled the family back some money and said, hey, they wouldn't be on no platforms complaining about it now.
You should have been leading with that the whole time.
I don't need to.
People just want to know you care.
I don't need to prove to people that I give a No, I don't.
Just this time. This one time.
No.
Yes, this one.
No. If you open that door, then that's the door that people expect all the time. Why the f do I need to do that?
I think it's because of how much the George Floyd situation affected so many people. I think I get what you're saying and how you stand on your business, and I respect you for that.
I'm not standing on my business.
Another backtrack. You see, the backtracking makes me so annoyed. Nah, bro. I don't gotta do that. I'm not doing that ever. No, I'm not standing on business. No, I didn't say stand on business. All right, man. But y'all let me know. People is really upset at Kevin Hart. They're on social media in droves, calling him all type of names, calling him all type of sellouts. Y'all let me know in the comment section.
Honey, The Rock had him sitting on his lap like a bitch or whatever. Talking about some sit on my lap and suck my dick, whatever the hell The Rock said, some crazy stuff. But this is this is Hollywood, okay? This is how Hollywood behaves. Let's go.
In general, you already know what time it is, man. We got that flamethrower out for people. We're gonna be talking about Kevin Hart and his roast. He responded today. A lot of people put a little comment in saying that it was old, but he responded today. Foolish one. And so we're gonna be discussing his Kevin Hart's response on the Breakfast Club. You see, and which was a cop out. He really embarrassed himself, and which we know what it is. It ain't like.
Shouts out to Seti. He tell it like it is. Shouts out to Cyrus Suit and Seti. Let's go.
Like, this is he's Malcolm X or no damn body. I mean, we've already seen the script of Kevin Hart, and so to see anything less than, I don't know why people acting as if he's some type of one that holds the line. He never holds the line. You see, he ain't never holded the line for black people. So I don't know what people is talking about, but they grilled his ass on the Breakfast Club and say, man, why would you allow that to happen? And because this is his production. This is his damn production. And but the thing is, see, this is the thing about the roast. See, the roast is, and I understand from that white supremacist standpoint, this gives them the opportunity to say whatever the fuck they want to say.
What they
and that's the criteria of a roast.
Sorry about that, guys. But it didn't pause. It didn't seized up. Hold up, guys.
Gives them the opportunity to say whatever the fuck they want to say. And that's the criteria of a roast.
Oh, crap. So it's got paused right there. Oh, crap.
Now, see, the thing is, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Let's see it. I kind of lost
it. Won't just nasty, low down, doggish, mentality of these people. You understand the shit that you could say no civilized being would say anything like, I don't give a goddamn what a joke is. I mean, I see a whole lot of comedians and a joke, and I didn't be rolling, cracking my damn ribs laugh, but when you get right down, the roast is basically a low down, nasty, degenerate piece of shit joke, no civilized being. So this is really caveman mentality. To be able to sit in there and laugh about some shit that go on in a roast. You see what I'm saying? Black people need to have their own goddamn roast, and be able to go in there. See, the thing is, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. Now, where they went in there and they talking about the brother, was it George Floyd, and you know, making the jokes about him and shit. Do that shit with Charlie Kirk. You see, yeah, take him out and make some goddamn Charlie Kirk jokes. You see, about him getting his wig pulled back. You feel what I'm saying? That we, you know, then we can roll. Yeah, make some, yeah. Well, you know what? He ain't gonna take it because you know what? That's a fucking humiliation ritual. A roast ain't nothing but a humiliation ritual. That's one of the biggest humiliation rituals in the Illuminati circle, where you got to bring your ass in front of there and get your ass humiliated. You see, well, motherfucker can even say something about your mom or say, you know, something about anything.
And let's call a spade a spade. He talking about people dead, mamas, people that and then they roasting people that ain't even in the roast. They roasting everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Just cussing everybody out. You know, your husband died and he's committed suicide, and it's like, bro, this is like, what is this? Like, what are we doing?
It goes. See, anything goes in that you know, that degenerate caveman platform. That's what it is. You see, and so of course he gonna get up there and he gonna toe the line because that's a part of the ritual. You understand what I'm saying? That's a part of the ritual. You know that you got to when the backlash comes. That's also a part of the ritual. The backlash. You see what I'm saying? That's also a part of the ritual is the motherfucking backlash. So you got to get up there and do and you know, explain away why somebody would say some shit like that. Well, it's not my joke. This is what the nigga was saying. Well, it's not my goddamn joke. You know what I'm saying? But hey, there's some rules and regulations to every motherfucking thing. Ain't nothing, you know, everything on the table. I mean, every motherfucking thing is on the table. Yeah, you know, that what arena is that where everything is on the table? Did they make any jokes about the motherfucking did they make any jokes about Donald Trump and shit getting his, you know, motherfucker trying to take his head off and shit? Yeah, you know, that's what, and they probably did do it on Saturday Night Live because, you know, that's you know, but shit, you know, you fuck around. If they would have went in on Donald Trump like that at that roast like they did some, you know, George Floyd and other people, man, they probably would have had charges on their motherfucking ass. You see what I'm saying? If they go all in, they'll have charges on their ass. They know it. The DOJ will be in their ass. The DOJ will be in their ass in the next day, that evening. They'll be in their ass the next evening. With some charges. You see? Hold on, family.
I'm sorry, guys. It's kind of.
And so, so you have to understand, man. This is a beast system, and they're gonna operate with the rules and regulations of a beast. You see, and these niggas gonna toe the line. That's all they're gonna do. You're not expecting nothing else from them to do that. But the fact that he would come out and back, you know, and pretend that he don't have no hand in the situation, that's bullshit. You see what I'm saying? If you know that people gonna, I wouldn't even affiliate myself with no shit like that. If you ain't gonna be, man, but see, that just show you, as he said, you got to be built for that type of comedy. So that just lets you know that that's what he into. Yeah. That's what he into. You understand? That's all he's saying. You got to be, so that's what he like. He like for somebody to say somebody mama and daddy. You know what I'm saying? What the hell your mama is the man mama? I heard it. They said something about the man mama and daddy. You know, I heard they said something about the man mama and daddy. And so if that's true, and it was some sadistic shit, you know, it's some sadistic shit that what I heard come out, you know, that they said, man, you don't have no more respect for your mama than to let some Neanderthal say some shit like that. No. Yeah, no. This is ridiculous, man. When motherfuckers don't have, you got to have some a responsibility to your own too, first and foremost. I know a motherfucker go and do his thing, but you got to have some responsibility. That's just like these Jewish peoples. You know, they got a certain line they gonna toe. You see what I'm saying? They got a certain line they're gonna toe. Now you got them old fake Jews that they'll say something even about Yahweh or you know, and so even within that spectrum, the beast mentality gonna usurp any other connection, whether it be religious, political, they're gonna go straight beast mode. They're gonna drop down on all fours, and they're gonna say whatever come to their mind that's gonna make them feel, you know, like the sadistic demon that they is, and that's what they're gonna do. So that's what a roast is. So the day you show up at a roast, I seen, man, some of the, you know, I don't even watch shit like that. So it is a humiliation ritual, and anybody that's on it, and the crazy shit about it, the jokes is actually written by all Neanderthals. It's not the people that's up there, I believe. I don't know if but I seen the writers, and they was all Europeans. All of them. So I think they the ones that even write the jokes. You see what I'm saying? They produced the whole set. You feel what I'm saying? And so you got to, you know, you looking at this shit, and you gonna get up there and you gonna let this Neanderthal who don't got no respect for nothing black whatsoever write a joke as tasteless as this shit is, and you gonna get your ass up there and then say, well, you got to be, you know, black people shouldn't even involve themselves in no damn roast. But when you an actor and a entertainer, this is what come with the motherfucking you know, being connected with that demonic lineage. You understand what I'm saying? That's a goddamn lineage. And most of these motherfuckers, and that's another thing when I'm talking about, when we get to, and this need to be brought up, motherfuckers get to talking about these lineages. Here it is, this motherfucker supposed to be a Black American foundation of that. Who you think that motherfucker lineage to? He don't give a fuck about that. His lineage is to that motherfucking beast that's providing that damn paper. You see what I'm saying? That's his motherfucking lineage.
The dollar.
And so when they can pull you and operate this nigga like a muppet or damn puppet on a damn string and get him to put his name on some production that that he know these Neanderthals, you gonna put your name on it, and this is the production. You understand? And you let them say whatever the motherfucker, you hold the weight for that. I don't give a fuck. If you put your name on it, that's your goddamn brand. And so that's just a fucking fake cop out, nigga. Because you know what a roast is, and you know that it's a humiliation ritual. But you got to have some level. And yes, comedy, we like comedy. You see what I'm saying? But normally comedy, you know, that I want to hear some truth. That's what make the shit funny. But when you just outright being a nasty, low down motherfucker, which a roast is, not necessarily like you trying to teach a truth. No, you're not doing that. You see, what you doing is trying to go as low as you can. You know what I'm saying? Low as you can. You know, I seen niggas in the goddamn when we used to cap on each other in the motherfucking school. You couldn't, nigga, it's just, what's gonna cause a motherfucker to bust your head open. You see what I'm saying? Nigga, it's some rules to this shit.
Right, you can't talk about nobody mama. Especially nobody dead mama or daddy or nothing. There is rules. That's also, you know what? Another roast thing is the gay community. They have a whole roasting thing that is so out cold where there is no whole bar. So I don't know whether it might be a little bit of like, a little bit of that going on and a little bit of like white supremacy going on combined. Because the gay roast will make you want to stab a bitch. You know what I'm saying? If you get roasted by a gay dude, honey, Lord have mercy. You better brace yourself because the gay roast is worse than anything that could ever be said in a Kevin Hart white person roast. And it might have been some gay dudes writing the damn jokes because they know how to hit low. Let's be real. Like the gay dudes, they know how low can you go?
You will call you will call the motherfucker bust your head on them so you can be funny and you can say jokes and it can be truthful. If it's truthful, nigga, and you sometimes you have to laugh yourself if it's true. But you don't disrespect nobody, mama and daddy, you don't take it to, if you using them to make a joke and it's still you lead their integrity and they just a part of, I see Michael Epps, he be making the old folk jokes and shit, but he don't be disrespect. It be true and you be rolling because it's true. The way he perform, how he mimic what they be saying, that shit funny. But when you take somebody mama and scrub the floor with a nigga and you allow this Neanderthal, you the lowest piece of shit ever. And I'll say, and Kevin Hart, man, he been out the game, but at the same time, they using this nigga to, attack us like this. And you could see that it's a puzzle. And his piece of the puzzle is no different than Chud the Builder, no different than all these other Neanderthals. It fit all into a puzzle where we are being attacked today. Now, I'll tell you what, let's have a goddamn roast. Let's have us a nigga roast, and we come out and man, we need to have some of the top fucking comedians write all type of goddamn jokes on this damn Neanderthal. And that's why, a lot of them motherfuckers probably mad at Drewski and shit. And I ain't no Drewski fan per se. You know what I'm saying? But I like some of the shit that he's touching on because it's real. You know what I'm saying? He hurting niggas' heart. He hurting some of them Neanderthals' hearts and certain fake shit that's going on out there right now. And, when you can get a motherfucker that'll touch on that, for the greater good of, who we are as a people, touch on the shit that they doing. And, but even then, he had a message. He didn't just scrub the goddamn flow. Yeah, you and a lot of white people saying the same shit about the woman, Charlie Kirk wife too. Shit, and it ain't just black people, but Drewski, you understand, put it out there for real. Even the shit about the British actors and shit playing all these slave roles. I heard that before, but he put it out there in a skit that really touched motherfuckers' heart, and when you look at it, it's real.
But before Drewski did that, it was on Hollywood Shuffle. It was on a thing called Hollywood Shuffle. I forget what his name is. Robert Townsend did a whole thing called Black Celebrity School or something black acting school. He did the first thing. Before Drewski did it, it was called Black Acting School. And he had a whole skit discussing the fact about like the people from the UK taking the roles of like slaves and gangsters and this, that, the other. So this was not the first time that this had ever had happened. He just took a bite off of what Robert Townsend had already done.
Look how you over here with this damn British accent, acting like a gangster. As soon as that motherfucker say cut, then you back talking like goddamn Prince Charles and shit. You know what I'm saying? So you know, that's fake shit. You know, you coming over here trying to play. We here, nigga. We got more than qualified motherfuckers that, you know, really connected to them stories that could bring that shit to life. But yet they choose to go get some motherfucker that know damn well that they ain't connected to how we was done over here to be able to play us in the way that we need to be played. We need a motherfucker that done been touched by that racism and shit, that go up there and know exactly, and her grandmamas and great granddaddies and granddaddies tell them, and so they can go up there and put the motherfucking, you know, the seasoning on these damn scripts, man, and portray it like it need to be portrayed. But that just back when Malcolm X said something about JFK. Them motherfuckers lost their mind. You understand what I'm saying? They didn't take that shit like that. Now imagine doing a motherfucking roast and shit. Donald Trump talk about a motherfucker like a dog. Nah.
Now I wanted to show you guys that this happened before. Drewski wasn't the first person that did it. It was called Black Acting School. So watch it. Here we go. Townsend back in the 80s doing this. Shouts out. Thank you, Celia. Yes. So before there was ever Drewski, there was Robert Townsend, guys, talking about like the roles and all this different stuff in the slave things. You know what I'm saying? I think here. So before there was a Drewski, it was the Black Acting School. Let's get that right. You know what I'm saying? And that was Robert Townsend in 1987. Shouts out to him. We're not going to pretend like Robert Townsend. You understand what I'm saying? Hi, my name is so-and-so, and I'm from the Black Acting School. You understand what I'm saying? So before Drewski ever did it, it happened with Robert Townsend, Black Acting School. All right. So if y'all never seen it, go watch Hollywood Shuffle. And in Hollywood Shuffle, he talks about all those different aspects of Hollywood. And it really opens your eyes into the Hollywood life back in the 80s. And all this stuff is really like a play on what's really going on right now. Let's go.
He don't get nobody no respect. Shit. You know what I'm saying? He done took all type of certain presidents. I take their face off the wall and shit and this, that, and the third. But Kevin Hart is a fucking disgrace, man. You know, Kevin Hart is a fucking disgrace, man. And you know, and a lot of people give Cat Williams more credit than nigga. When you involve yourself in the roast, you was a part of that segment, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You sitting on the, when you know motherfuckers is gonna go up there and say all type of wicked shit that you know, and take people that is dear to us and scrub the flow with them. I mean, because that's really what a roast is. You just scrub the fucking flow with whoever. That's really what it is. And so you gonna be a part of a production where they're gonna take, you know, people that is dear to us and scrub. I had no respect for no black person on that fucking platform. None. Period. You was a piece of that puzzle. You feel me? You see what I'm saying? Something with, you know, but when you involve, you accept that. Whatever could come out somebody's mouth, you say, I have to accept that. You see, I have to accept that. You know, and that's a cop-out. That's a motherfucking cop-out. Nigga, you done signed on to the agenda. Really, that's what it is. You a part of the B system. And Kevin Hart talking about he gave the George Floyd whatever and shit. And I don't give a fuck, nigga. That shit fake. What the hell, nigga? You gay. So what that get? That's just like a set. Well, I gay. All right, well, nigga, what the fuck do that mean? And in the end, his memory is the greatest, you know, aspect of who he is. You know, the honor, the memory. Remember, when you got, you know, when you go to like Memorial Day, and you know, people that didn't die for this country, You know, you don't make no jokes about it. They didn't pay the ultimate price, gave their life. You feel what I'm saying? To go fight for a fucking worthless ass country that don't even. So you gonna get up there and scrub the floor with a man or a woman that paid the ultimate price? You see what I'm saying? That didn't pay the ultimate price. That's ridiculous, man. That's the lowest person on the planet. So you know what? I suggest that we should have a black roast. And I tell you what, don't do it. I'm saying this. So we could scrub the floor with some motherfuckers. Just the way they do it, and let us do some nigga, it'll be charges on every nigga affiliated with the production. Y'all already know. Everybody from the producer, the director, even the motherfucker up there working the lights. They'll have a motherfucking warrant on his ass just for working the lights. Plugging the motherfucker that plugged the microphones in to have a goddamn charge. You already know. So you don't do it. But that's what I'm saying. That just lets you know that it's a wicked production, that you could do it. But if niggas turned around and had that same goddamn production, scrubbing the floor with every little Caucasian motherfucker and whoever else, Hispanic motherfucker that want to make jokes and shit and have a roast on their ass, nigga, they'll have a warrant on everybody in the fucking production. Period. And you know this to be true. If you got that low, but I don't think black people gonna get that low because they know what it is, you know, to take somebody mama. You see, you understand what I'm saying? To take somebody mama and you already nigga been to pop your ass. If you get low like that on a nigga, for real, who love it, and another nigga that know how he love his mom and dad, and a nigga drag the goddamn ground with your man, please, you looking to have something happen. You feel what I'm saying? But anyway, family, hit the subscribe button. We had a little hiccup, you know, earlier and hopefully people will, you know, when they see the video, they'll keep moving forward. Share it, you know what I'm saying? Share it with your family and friends, or get it in comment, man. Comment.
Yes. Comment, subscribe. Make sure that you subscribe to this video and you subscribe to my channel if you are watching. One last thought I wanted to bring up is Godfrey, and he shared his thoughts on the whole situation. Let's watch it.
People have been asking me my opinion about the roast, and here it goes. All right, everybody has their opinions. There's so many things going on, how people feel. I hope I balanced this out right. As a comedian myself, as a guy who loves the edge, who loves pushing the envelope on racial, political, just all kinds of things, all right? Listen, a roast is a roast. A roast has been around for a long time. Roasting started in the Friars Club back in the day. I mean, black people, we called it the dozens. When you roast them up, the dozens, you talk about them up. That's what you do. And a roast, the first televised roast was in 1974. Dean Martin roast. Go watch them for some historical context. And roasting was people you knew that I think you knew or had relationships with. And it was like sort of a family thing where you get to go in on my private lives. You go in, all right? I don't know all the rules to roasting. I was at the Flavor Flav roast. I remember I was at Flavor Flav roast and Cat Williams was hosting. And they brought in Flavor Flav on a harness, right? And Cat Williams said, I don't think if you all remember the flying monkeys from Wizard of Oz, you just saw one. That's what his first joke was. And then Cat Williams goes, it's a roast, mother. It's a roast. It was, you know, roasting is what it's called. Roasting. You're burning, mother. You're going in on people. See, I don't know the rules. I don't know. I think that everybody approved of this stuff because you have writers. You have writers. Every person has a right. Even Tiana Taylor was there, right? Tiana Taylor, The Rock, different people. Everybody has writers. And the writers write for the specific people. Okay. A lot of the writers were white, which I thought was imbalanced. It was imbalanced. There should have been more black writers. Okay. I think there should have been more black people roasting Kevin Hart. I think, and maybe that, you know, this harmful shit wouldn't have really happened. It would have been sort of like, you know what I mean? It would have been a troubleshooter. But remember this, like I said, it's a roast, but also who did you choose for the roast? I think it's your choices. You brought in Tony Hinchcliffe. Who the is surprised at what he said? You can't be surprised. This is what he does. He called Puerto Rico a floating island of trash. This is what Tony Hinchcliffe does. That is his brand. He did not go outside of his brand. You know, Shane Gillis. Shane is not as up as Tony Hinchcliffe, but Shane is gonna go in too. And it's a roast. That's very specific. It's not like, oh, let me just do my comedy special and talk. No, it's a roast. So a roast is like, we're going in on your, whether we don't give a, them going in on Cheryl Underwood's husband's death. I don't know. Did Cheryl approve of that? We have to ask Cheryl. I don't know. Going at the George Floyd thing, I thought that was unnecessary. It was unnecessary, but then again, it's a roast. But I thought it was unnecessary, especially with this climate, especially with police brutality, which is rampant still. The hanging thing, because they're still hanging black people, young black people, with the Black American history and the oppression and what they're doing to black voters, the firing of black women, the getting rid of DEI and affirmative action, all this shit that is coming down on black people with this administration. And I just think timing wise, it was like, yo, what the, hey, but again, it's a roast. You understand where I'm coming from? I think it was the choices. It wasn't balanced enough. That's just my opinion. And as a comedian, I can't go, man, they shouldn't have said that. Yo, then again, it's a roast. Look at who you chose. I think maybe your choices were wrong. Your choices were wrong because everybody has a choice to be in a roast. Everybody has a choice to be roasted. You don't have to even participate in it. But once you're in, it's no holds bar. Roasts are either fucked up or really fucked up. That's what I know about roasts. They're either fucked up or really fucked up. Someone gonna be upset. But I understand black people's anger, totally. I understand people getting offended, but then again, it's a roast, guys. It's a roast. I know Chelsea Handler did great. Cheryl Underwood came back and smacked everybody in the face, which is great, even though they went in on her crazy. It was cringy, but if Cheryl was fine with it, that's everybody we're grown up. We're grown, man. You make your own decisions on what you want to do. So this is just my opinion. I mean, unless you have Tourette's. If you have Tourette's and you yell certain things out, then there's that too sometimes. But here's what I have a little bit of a problem, because Kevin Hart actually showed up to George Floyd's memorial when he died, which was a great thing that Kevin Hart did. But then you're laughing at a joke about him on your roast. So the optics don't look too good. That's all I'm saying. The optics don't look good. It's like, ugh, and George Floyd's family is very upset about that. So if you show up to the memorial and then they do a joke, the optics do not look good. But I just wanted to give my opinion on it. I mean, it's not much of an opinion and it's not right or wrong. You guys can feel any way you want about it, but I wanted to just bring that up, that it's kind of a catch-22, you know what I'm saying? And maybe they'll change the way they do roasts. Maybe they'll be more strategic on how they do roasts. I don't know. It is what it is. And I really believe, too, it was a money grab. It was a money grab. They got all the biggest people that were popular, no matter what demographic they had. It was a money grab. It was all a money grab. And they said, we're going to do whatever we want to get this money. And I think comics that got insulted were like, hey, man, I just want to be on. I just want to get my shit up. Everybody has their reasons for being there. All right. And a lot of people had their reasons for not being there. So that's my opinion. You guys let me know.
Just when I thought I couldn't find my way out, yeah, I searched the God in me to find my way out. I know it can seem way out, but the Creator flows to and through me from way out. I'm talking way out, yeah, yeah, yeah. See, if you believe in the God in you,